So this is my favorite slide of all the slides I'm going to show you today. This is the Solvay conference. Every 3 years, physicists come together to talk physics. This is the best one, 1927. There are 29 people in this photo. There's Albert Einstein, Marie Curie, Niels Bohr. It's said that Heisenberg was there, but it's not certain. But the key to the whole thing is that 17 people in this photo won the Nobel Prize in physics. And almost all of them won it after the photo was taken. You didn't win a Nobel Prize and then get invited to Solvay. You won the Nobel Prize because you got invited to Solvay. That you sat there and you looked to your left and you looked to your right and go, whoa, this is possible. And once it's possible, then you can be responsible. And once you can be responsible, then you can build a process. So I'm asking for a level of mindfulness. A level of mindfulness to be able to say, yep, that just happened. Not, oh my God, I'm going to lose my job. That just happened. That what industrialists trained us to do is want the world to be exactly one way. They've hypnotized us to go to spec, to figure out some level of perfect. This leads to a Buddhist term called dukkha, which means the suffering that happens when the world doesn't turn out the way we hoped. When our story of how the world is supposed to be doesn't match the way the world is. So if you sign up for a process, if you sign up for understanding, sometimes there's going to be round holes and square pegs, what should I do now? You get rid of all the drama and you can go back to being a leader. And as a leader, what you're seeking is enrollment. Because sooner or later, the people who work for you, the people who follow you, it's voluntary. In The Wizard of Oz, 2 Wizard of Oz references in one day. In The Wizard of Oz, when Dorothy was talking to the lion and the Tin Man, she didn't say, I command you to come with me to Oz. She got volunteers, people to raise their hand, people to go for the ride. That what we're asking you for aren't tactics. Tactics are easy. Managers love tactics. We're asking you for goals and for strategy, where there is no manual, where there is no map. But there is a compass, and that helps. A compass to help us get from here to there. A compass that says, when we are off track, here's where the loop is, right? I can't give you a map, even a fictional map, because if I give you a fictional map, it's not going to help. Your job as a leader is to draw the map, and then to find the volunteers you need, to build a tribe. Tribes, pioneered by Charlton Heston 5,000 years ago, are groups of people who are connected by a culture, by a way of being in the world, by a costume. We had tribes for spiritual reasons and tribes for work reasons. We had community tribes, the Red Hat ladies in hundreds of cities, the Red Hat guys who pay $15,000 to enter the triathlon in Hawaii, even though they know they're going to lose. Why do they go? Because the other Red Hat guys are there. These Red Hat guys, the White Hat guys, the Star Trek guys. It's deep within us. So I'm going to time you. Let's see if you can do better than they did, which they did really well in Oslo. Go. Okay, stop. That was excellent. 5 seconds. They beat you by 1 second in Oslo, but 5 seconds. Every group claps at a different rhythm. You're slow clappers. Some groups are fast clappers. How did you know? I made no eye contact. Turns out people like doing what other people are doing. We like being in sync. So what's your job? Your job as a leader is simple. Connect us, challenge us, build a culture, communicate to us, be clear about it, commit to where we are going. You don't have to invent these people. The Beatles didn't invent teenagers. They just showed up to lead them. Bob Marley did not invent the Rastafarians. He showed up to lead them. Simple marketing advice. People like us do things like this. That's all. That's all you need to remember. Who's going to decide who the people like us are, what the things like this are? It's up to you. So every single one of you is prepared, I'm sure of it, and none of you are ready. You can't be ready, because ready means you're sure it's going to work. And you can't be sure. So I didn't show you the end of that videotape that we started with in Italy. Here we go. He's doing great. He's in first place. Keep it up. Manage that process, baby. It's working super. You're going to go to the, what do they call that? The Tour de France. Except Someone copies you. And then you know what you got to do? You got to start all over again. That's what you're signing up for. We have no room for sheep here. You're signing up for a loop, for a process, for vulnerability. You may remember the great movie Singing in the Rain. This is the key scene, Gene Kelly dancing up a storm. What you didn't know until this moment is he had an umbrella the whole time. But it's not called singing with an umbrella. It's called singing in the rain. The rain is the point. The vulnerability is the point. Leonard Bernstein famously said, I don't know what the question is, but the answer is yes. So here we are in this world with all these rules, all these expectations. And now you see it. Now you see that there's an alternative. Some people, you give them a mile and they take an inch, but that's not you. Now that you see it, you can do something about it. So last story I want to tell you actually happened to me about 5 years ago at an Amazon event. It was extraordinary. I was with my family, playwrights, authors, some really cool folks, friends. New Mexico, 5 degrees outside Celsius. It's freezing. They give everyone a blanket. We go up on this mesa. They build a big fire as the sun is setting. Standing at the campfire is Neil Armstrong. Neil Armstrong standing there telling us the story of his epic journey. And as he's talking, the moon rises over his shoulder. And he turns and he says, I've been there. Ladies and gentlemen, there are footprints on the moon. There are footprints on the moon. We sent a ship up with a computer so primitive to the one that Steve Wozniak invented, and we got there and we came back 50 years ago. Footprints on the moon. So given what you've got, the connection to so many people, the trust, the resources, the fact that there's a roof over your head and a safety net, given that you've got that, and there's this generation coming after us, what are you going to do for them? Where are you going to take them? Do you care enough? Care enough to lead us where we need to go?